It's a great Monday morning and I'm all set to go to office. But what's wrong? Why is my head spinning? On an early Monday morning, my head is spinning. I'm all ready to go to office and my head, the pain in my tummy. It's Monday morning and it's pain in my tummy. Knots in my tummy, pain in my head. Oh no, this is another attack of Monday blues. Not again. Hello everyone, my name is Alok and I work in a company as a senior sales regional manager. Now as the nature of the job is that I get 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday, but Sunday evening something starts happening to me. Sunday evening I start getting funny cramps and my muscles get all tightened up and I'm like, what is happening to me? I don't get it. And every Monday morning when I go to office, again the same thing, muscles tightening, my head spinning, knots in the tummy. It's crazy. I don't know what to do. Now, I'm pretty good at my work. I always beat my targets. My numbers are pretty huge and my team is overperforming. But this has started happening since last 1 year. And when I'm having a customer meeting, suddenly I go somewhere else and the customer is watching me, I'm not there. And I start losing customers. I'm sitting in a team meeting with all the team just like this, having a great session and suddenly I'm gone. And then again, boss. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, what just happened? What is happening to me? And this is not only happening in meetings, now my performance is suffering. I'm really dipping and it's going to be very soon I will lose my job. But before that, I get, PIP. You heard of PIP? Performance Improvement Plan. So I'm put on a performance plan. There was a guy who was out there and suddenly he's on a performance improvement plan, maybe on the way out. So big problem. What do? I talked to one of my colleagues, Lawrence, and I said, Lawrence, what do I do? So Lawrence tell me, look at your feelings. I said, look at the feelings? I said, yeah, look at the feelings. Doesn't feel right, don't do it. I said, okay, doesn't feel right, don't do it, let's do it. So I go in a meeting, doesn't feel right, I said, let's get out of this meeting. I go to meet a team, doesn't feel right, I get out of the team meeting. I get my final warning from my boss that this is it, Alok. If you don't get your act together, you're going to be out. And I said, something is really wrong. What do I do? So I think, who's the most successful person in my life? And I meet a guy called Dave. And Dave tells me that, Alok, there's this coach who actually transformed my life. I had the same problem, but I went to this coach and this guy was so good, he did some magic on me. I said, okay, how can I meet him? When do I meet him? And he said, I want to caution you though. He said, okay, what's the caution there? He's very expensive. I said, that's fine, I'll pay him, but he will challenge you greatly. I said, how does that work? I pay him money and he kick me and he punish me. So you pay money to get punished? How does that work? I said, okay, there's nothing to lose. I'm already losing my job. So let's go anyway. So I meet this guy, Bob, on a Saturday morning and he's sitting in a firm chair out there. And I talk to Bob. I say, hi Bob, how are you doing? And he doesn't respond. He's like, firm. He looks really, really firm. He said, I'm good, Alok. Why don't you have a seat? And I'm like, whoa, this guy means business. So we have a seat and suddenly I don't know what happens. His whole personality is so warm, I start speaking. And he just asked me one question, what's the problem, Alok? And I go on and then when I look at my watch, 60 minutes have passed. 60 minutes I've been blabbering away. And he's listening. I said, Alok, go on. We got a 2 hours appointment. So tell me more. And I keep on going. Then finally he comes to the conclusion. So now do you know the Alok? Do you know the problem, Alok? I said, of course I know the problem. The problem is that I'm not able to stay in the moment. I'm not able to pay attention. He said, absolutely. And why is the problem happening, Alok? I said, the problem is happening because I'm looking at too much at my emotions. I'm looking too much at my feelings. And if I listen to the feelings all the time, I'll be out of the job. He said, absolutely. So you know the problem. You know the solution. What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to stop looking at those emotions all the time. He said, okay, when? I said, now. And I got out of the meeting after 2 hours and said, what did just happen? I told him the problem. I found the solution. I actually set the timeline, so why am I paying him for? And I called my friend and said, what did just happen? He said, magic happened. I said, yeah, it felt like magic, but why should I pay him? He did nothing. He said, pick up that piece of paper. And I picked up the piece of paper, put it in your eyes. He said, yes. What do you see? I said, white. I said, now take it away. What do you see? Problem. I see a piece of paper. So essentially the mind which is in the problem cannot see the problem, loses objectivity. I said, whoa. So the magic is not Bob. You are the magician. So that's how magic happened with the coach. And that started a journey for me. I did a contract with Bob 6 months. And here I am today. My performance is really up there. I'm back to work. And something has really changed. Now after 6 months, everything is great. I keep on going back to my habits. But he is like a dog's crooked tail. He actually whacks me back into work. So I'm normal again. So it's not easy to do it yourself, but when you have someone helping you, it becomes easy. So where does this leave me with? So what's the solution to tackle your Monday blues? This is what I discovered. So listen up carefully. Here's the $1 million insight. Why do Monday blues happen? Very simple. You feel low, your emotions are down. And when emotions are down, energy is down. Physical, mental energy really goes down. Now think carefully. What is emotion? Motion. Energy in motion. So energy can make you or it can break you. The point is that what are you doing with this emotion? That is important. So now the question is, what do you do? So here are 2 things to do. When you have a routine, when you have a daily schedule, no matter what the emotion, keep pushing, keep going forward with that schedule. Don't listen to your emotion, go on. But there's a second thing. When that pattern is repeated again and again for too many days, for too many weeks, now there's a pattern. Now there's something you need to change. Watch that. So these are the 2 options I'm leaving you with. There's a common theme here, guys. And this is my final closing remark, that between both the things, there's something called as a daily routine. No matter what, look at your daily routine. Don't let it mess up. And this is my closing quotation for you. The way you live your day, will decide how you lead your life. Thank you very much.